I'm just coming from Ujjain, and I was there a whole month following an Ayurvedic course cure. During that time, I read practically the whole Srila Prabhupada Limamrita, which is the biography of Srila Prabhupada. What touched me is in his last moments, he was still commenting on the Srimad Bhagavatam. He was still giving his commentaries on the 13th chapter of the 10th canto, the bewildering pastimes of Lord Brahma. And these purports are so crystal clear, very deep every sentence. And he was translating while he was on his deathbed. Last 2 weeks I've been together with Giant Beta Maharaj, who was also following a cure. And Giant Beta Maharaj was, when Srila Prabhupada offered his last purports, commentaries on the Bhagavatam, he was holding the microphone on Srila Prabhupada, before Srila Prabhupada's mouth, and he was giving these commentaries. You can understand how dear the Bhagavatam was for Srila Prabhupada. This was his message to the world, his commentaries on the Bhagavatam. During 11 years, he was practically traveling constantly all over the world. Although he was in his old age, that he tolerated everything. In the night he could not sleep, but he said it's Krishna's mercy. But in the night he was dictating his commentaries on the Bhagavatam. When he was writing these commentaries, he had with him the commentaries of his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. He had different other commentaries from previous acharyas, previous spiritual masters. Especially Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentaries, but also many others. And he was mainly translating these commentaries, but putting them in a modern today daylight, so that we can understand the meaning for us in our lives. So what is the Bhagavatam? Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Lord Krishna. That Srimad Bhagavatam is about Lord Krishna. That Bhagavad Gita contains spiritual techniques, ABC of spiritual life. But by just reading Bhagavad Gita, you cannot understand it. Understanding spiritual matters is not a question of scholarship. It's a question of a change of heart. It's a question of realization. Realization is given to us through the heart by Lord Krishna, who is in our heart. But for that, there are certain conditions that so this Bhagavatam explains the spiritual techniques in the Bhagavad Gita that Srila Prabhupada, and when you read the Bhagavatam, is constantly quoting verses of Bhagavad Gita. And in the Bhagavatam, is quoting verses of the Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Gita, is quoting verses of the Bhagavatam. So you can see how they are connected. But in the Bhagavatam, we find the lives of devotees, so many. And there you find the spiritual techniques of the Bhagavad Gita in practice, what they mean, how to practice them in our lives. That, yeah. Before reading from the Bhagavatam, just traditionally we are chanting 2 verses. Nastavi is about Krishna, Nityam Bharata Sevya, Bhagavatam Bhakti Prabhava. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, because by that we will be able to realize the spiritual instructions that the very means of conquest. We offer our spiritual obeisance to the Supreme Lord Narayana, to Narayana Rishi, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. So it's Srila Vyasadeva who wrote the Bhagavatam down. But he wrote it after becoming mature in spiritual life. That how we matured in spiritual life is explained in the first canto. And then, what's the effect of hearing the Bhagavatam? That Nastapesha Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavati Uttamasu Ke Bhaktir Bhagavati Naishviki. That's by regular attendance on classes of the Bhagavatam. That's the first thing. It's not just reading the book. That it's reading the book and the commentaries of Srila Prabhupada, which are very powerful, which explain how to practice spiritual life. That, but also by hearing them from those who have realizations. That who have realized these verses. That's the most powerful. Therefore, it has to be heard and chanted in association of devotees. It's not a selfish scholarly study. You will not get access to the Bhagavatam. It requires humility. It requires surrender. It requires a change of heart. So that's the first thing. So by regular attendance of class on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee. That's the second element. You can read the Bhagavatam, then you must understand how to practice it in your life. How to practice it. That by regular attendance of the class of the Bhagavatam, by rendering service to the pure devotee. Practice means spiritual practice, means acting as a spirit soul. we are used to act many, many lifetimes as identifying with the body. We think I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm this or that, or I will become this and that. It's all illusion. It's all temporary. Temporary means illusion. This life is temporary, but our real life is eternal. We are eternal. But experience eternal life. It's not possible when the heart is impure. Therefore, that to purify the heart, it's done by service. Service, selfless service to please the spiritual master, who is a representative of Krishna. Selfless service means love, acting without something in return. And that's what the Bhagavatam is teaching. How to come to that level. The first 9 cantos brings us to the purification of the heart. And then one comes to the 10th canto. And then one can start to understand spiritual mothers. Then one can start to understand Krishna. One has realized the first 9 cantos. That if you study the Bhagavatam under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, then gradually, and you go verse by verse, gradually it brings us to the platform of liberation when we come to 9th canto. But one has to hear from the right source. For those who are realized, it's not a way. Because in the beginning of the 10th canto, there, Arjuna, no, it's that's Bhagavad Gita. There, Maharaj Parikshit is asking Sukadeva Goswami, because at the end of the 9th canto, that Sukadeva Goswami has described the Soma dynasty, the dynasty of the Kshatriyas coming from the moon god. And in that dynasty, Krishna appeared. And at the beginning of the 10th canto, there Maharaj Parikshit is asking Sukadeva Goswami, please, I want to hear more about Krishna. Tell me more about Krishna. He's very eager to hear about Krishna. But Sukadeva Goswami gives a warning. Nrivita Taksher Bhagyamanat Pasal Takshotva Manobhyarama. He said, you want to hear about Krishna, but are you Nriviti Taksher, free from all lust in your heart? And did you take your medicine? The medicine of hearing about Krishna. This is a medicine, this hearing. Because it says that by regular hearing the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is nearly completely destroyed. And loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established within the heart as an irrevocable fact. Then you come to the platform of love. Love means devotion. Devotion means absorption in service to Krishna. This absorption is ecstatic, that can only be attained when we are in the present. And when the heart is contaminated by lust, we start to make plans to become happy in this world. But there is no happiness in this world. Not a drop of happiness. What we think as happiness is sense gratification for the body. Happiness is love. That's real platform. If we start to lament about so many things that went wrong, everything will go wrong in this world. But we should not live on that platform of temporary existence, because we are eternal. We should learn to live on the platform of the spirit soul. Then there is no problem. The problems are on the platform of material consciousness, where we think we are this body. So what was the effect of this, hearing this Bhagavatam? Because Srila Vyasadeva, who wrote of Narada Muni, is Bhakti personified. And he instructs Srila Vyasadeva to, because Srila Vyasadeva is a liberated person, but instructs him to meditate on the absolute truth with devotion. And he comes in trance, and then he gets a vision of the absolute truth. And there are 3 verses here in the Bhagavatam in which he explains what he sees. And this is one verse here, in which he describes the effect of hearing this Bhagavatam. So before we read from the Bhagavatam, always we are offering our respectful obeisances, our respects to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, by chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So I read the Sanskrit. Yasyam Vashuyamanayam Krishne Paramapurvase Bhaktir Utpatyate Pumsa Sukhamoha Bhayataha. Translation that again read the part of the purport. Simply by hearing this Vedic literature, the feeling for devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Does the effect? It destroys lamentation, illusion, and fear. That's very powerful. Because that's what's troubling. It's troubling. It's troubling our heart. That is 3 things. The first devotee, he was a pure devotee, that I met was Mahavishnu Goswami, late Mahavishnu Goswami. Yes. Gujarati was living in London. And, was serving at Soul Street, but then finally they forced him to take sannyas. And he said to me, this Bhagavatam, you hear this Bhagavatam and you become free from LIF. LIF. He said, lamentation, illusion, and fear. That, so this is the effect of hearing the Bhagavatam. That when also a few years ago I was in Malaga, in Spain, and the temple president was a lady, and she told me that her son died. That's quite heavy experience for a mother. Son will pass away. And not really afterwards, you enter a state of lamentation. But what did she do? She started to hear lectures on the Bhagavatam by Srila Prabhupada. There are so many lectures. Constantly. Practically 24 hours a day. Everywhere where she goes, she would hear. And after 3 days, she came out of this state of lamentation. So powerful that to read a part of the purport. There are various senses of which the ear is the most effective. This sense works even when a man is deep asleep. That if you wake someone up, you shout in his ear. So this sense remains active. One can protect himself from the hands of an enemy while awake, but while asleep one is protected by the ear only. Importance of hearing is mentioned here in connection with attaining the highest perfection of life, namely getting free from 3 material pangs. Everyone is full of lamentation at every moment, is after the mirage of illusory things, and is always afraid of his supposed enemy. These are the primary symptoms of the material disease, and it is definitely suggested herein that simply by hearing the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, one gets attached for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And as soon as this is affected, the symptoms of material diseases disappears. Srila Vyasadeva was the all-perfect personality of Godhead, and in this statement, the all-perfect personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is clearly confirmed. So attachment to Krishna, that what's happening when we are attached to Krishna, then our heart becomes purified. That Krishna is called in the Shisa Upanishad antiseptic and prophylactic. Antiseptic means when you get Krishna in the mind, then it's purifying the mind or the heart. What's the contamination? What is causing this lamentation, illusion, and fear? It's that lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy. That's the problem in the heart. That's the cause of our unhappiness. and it purifies the heart when we think of Krishna. Antiseptic and prophylactic. Prophylactic means like a vaccine. When you have Krishna in the mind, then you will not be contaminated by lust and regret and so on. You will not have an effect. And how do we get Krishna in the mind? Hearing by Bhagavatam. Hearing Bhagavatam makes us healthy attached to Krishna. Because we start healthy to understand who Krishna is. Yesterday, my driver was asking me, you are always traveling, you are always alone. Is that not troublesome? No relationship with anyone, always traveling. Not, but by hearing the Bhagavatam, we are developing our relationship with Krishna. Krishna is always there. Sarvasya samridishana vishta miti. Yeah, Sarvasya samridishana vishta miti smriti jnanam apansa. Krishna is in the heart, he says. He gives us knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So, whatever we remember, whatever we know, comes from Krishna. He controls material nature, he controls our body. That we think we are in control, but that's an illusion. He controls everything. He arranges everything. He arranges that we are this evening right here all together, just to hear the Bhagavatam. It's Krishna inviting you to come out of this very troublesome situation. Come to the platform of real existence. Real existence is the existence of the spirit soul, because we are eternal. This platform, material platform of sense gratification and giving and strive to give pleasure to this body, it's just a cause of misery, that's why. It's a cause of lamentation, illusion, and fear. It brings us to this higher platform. But the goal is love. Love for Krishna. Love for all living entities. And so, Srila Prabhupada adds further, the ultimate result of devotional service is to develop genuine love for the Supreme Person, for the Supreme Personality. Love is a word which is often used in relation with man and woman. And love is the only word that can be properly used to indicate the relation between Lord Krishna and the living entity. Srila Prabhupada said, love is for God. For God. His wife is a devotee, that they cannot have a relationship on the spiritual platform of love. That's another, but that requires that we give up our identification of the body and identify with our real son. And that's a platform of love. It's a platform of selfless service to Krishna and to the devotees of Krishna. So, the living entities are mentioned as Prakriti in the Bhagavad Gita, and in Sanskrit, Prakriti is a feminine object. The Lord is always described as the Parama Purush, or the Supreme Male Personality. Thus, the affection between the Lord and the living entity is something like the male and female. Interesting. What Prabhupada is saying here, that Krishna is the Supreme Male. Male means Ishvara, the controller. He controls everything. And we are Prakriti, and we are his energy. And energies are supposed to serve the source of all energy. So, Prakriti means female energy. It's to be enjoyed by the Purush. So we are all meant for the enjoyment of Krishna. And when we try to give enjoyment to Krishna, then we are connected with that enjoyment of the Supreme Lord. And we feel very satisfied in heart. Because that's the most natural thing for the living entity, is love. In that sense, we are all female as spirit souls. Krishna is the male, and that's our relationship. Therefore, the term love of goddess is quite appropriate. Loving service of the Lord begins with hearing about the Lord. That's the first service. Srila Prabhupada said, hearing. We can only hear from the Lord really from the Bhagavatam. Because the Bhagavatam is healthy establishing the Lord as the Supreme Person, as the controller of all energies, is in every atom. Then when we become conscious of reality, reality is that Krishna is the Supreme Controller. Not a blade of glass happens in this world. Or not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Supreme Lord. And the devotee sees that. When you surrender to Krishna and to his service, then Krishna is taking over your life. And everything that's happening in your life will bring you closer to Krishna. Help to purify the heart and bring you closer to Krishna. There is no difference between the Lord and the subject matter heard about him. That's interesting. There is no difference between the Lord and the subject matter heard about him. If we hear about Krishna, we get Krishna in the mind. And Krishna in the mind is non-different from Krishna. Same if we hear the holy name, it's Krishna. But we don't realize it because our heart is contaminated. So the Lord is absolute in all respects, and thus there is no difference between him and the subject matter heard about him. Therefore this Krishna appeared, we heard in the beginning, appeared in this age of Kali Yuga as the Bhagavatam. Therefore it's like deities. Krishna is Bhagavatam. Should treat with very respectfully. That normally we put a book on a standard. Because it's non-different from Krishna. When we come in contact with the Bhagavatam, we become purified. Therefore, hearing about him means immediate contact with him by the process of vibration of transcendental sound. So all these Sanskrit verses, they are non-different from Krishna. And I learned from Mahavishnu Goswami to chant them in the proper meter and with devotion. To chant them with devotion. It goes very, very beautiful. There are different meters in the Bhagavatam that this is sweetness personified. And the transcendental sound is so effective that it acts at once by removing all material affections mentioned above. Material affection means lamentation, illusion, and fear. LIF. As mentioned before, a living entity develops a sort of complexity by material association, and illusory engagement of the material body is accepted as an actual fact. And that's our illusion. We think we are this body. We think we are going to die. We are not dying. We are leaving this body. Maybe we get another body. Because our heart is not pure. It's not pure yet. As long as we have material desires, we have to take birth again, get a new body, and take birth, death, old age, and disease. So whatever you want, your desire in your life, related to this body, is a prayer. Desire is a prayer. Because we are not the doer. Whether the prayer is fulfilled is up to Krishna. But if we pray for things for this body, we are praying for birth, death, old age, and disease. Is that such a good idea? We are doing it all the time. We have to come out of this state of illusion. And that's explained in the Bhagavatam. Under such false complexity, the living entity, the living beings under different categories of life becomes illusioned in different ways. Even in the most developed stage of life, the same illusion prevails in the form of many isms and divides the loving relationship with the Lord, and therefore divides the loving relationship between man and man. So this false complexity, if we suffer, it's because of attachment. You are going to lose something, or you are losing something, you suffer because you are attached. This attachment is illusion. You may be attached to so many things, and then we die, and then you have to go. But what's the use of your attachment? No, the devotee knows this body is temporary, and I'm happy to go whenever Krishna wants. If I'm not pure, I get another body that's better than this old miserable body. And when I'm pure, I revive my spiritual body again. I go to the eternal world. So by hearing the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, this false complexity of materialism is removed, and real peace in society begins, which politicians aspire for so eagerly in so many political situations. The politicians want a peaceful situation between man and man, and nation, but at the same time, because of too much attachment for material domination, that's the problem. There is illusion and fearfulness. Attachment. But attachment to material things is cured only by one cure. That's attachment to Krishna. And attachment to Krishna we get by hearing the Bhagavatam. Therefore, the politicians' peace conferences cannot bring about peace in society. It can only be done by hearing the subject matter described in Srimad Bhagavatam about the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. The foolish politicians may go on holding peace and summit conferences for hundreds of years, but they will fail to achieve success until we reach the stage of re-establishing our lost relationship with Krishna. The illusion of accepting the body as a self will prevail, and thus fearfulness will also prevail. So we must re-establish our relationship with Krishna. We have a relationship with Him. That's now forgotten because we have put ourselves in the center. But spiritual life means putting Krishna again in the center. That's the difference. Because when you live in a relationship with Krishna, then nothing can hurt you in this world. You feel peaceful, satisfied. Whatever good or bad happens, good or bad, is Krishna's mercy. That. As for validity of Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from revealed scriptures, and there are hundreds of thousands of evidences from personal experience of devotees in various places like Vrindavan, Navadvip, and Puri. So Srila Prabhupada says two things here. Yes, there is evidence from the scriptures. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the verse 10-18 Bhagavad Gita, Ham Sarvasya Prabhavo Mata Sarvam Prabhakti, where Krishna says, I'm the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Srila Prabhupada quotes one reference after another from the scriptures that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's there. But the real proof is your relationship with Krishna. If you live in a relationship with Krishna, nobody has to prove you that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And how do you live in that relationship? By hearing and by experiences. By experiencing that Krishna reciprocates with you. Krishna is reciprocated with Srila Prabhupada. He sent him to America. He spread the Bhagavatam and the holy name all over the world. That who can do that? Just in 11 years. That, even in the Kaumadi dictionary, the synonyms of Krishna are given as the son of Yasoda and the Supreme Personality of Godhead Parabrahman. The conclusion is that simply by hearing the Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, one can have direct connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's direct connection with Krishna. And thereby, one can attain the highest perfection of life by transcending worldly miseries, illusion, and fearfulness. These are the practical tests for one who has actually given a submissive hearing to the reading of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it leads us to realizing our relationship with Krishna and live in that relationship with Krishna. And how do you live in that relationship? By hearing the Bhagavatam and then serving Krishna. Engaging in his mission. It's Krishna's compassion, this Bhagavatam. Giving it to others is his mission. Giving the holy name to everyone is his mission. If I'm traveling from place to place, trying to fight like Arjuna against illusory energy, to inspire everyone. Just please, I beg you all, take up this Bhagavatam. Take up this chanting of the holy name. When I came here, my driver was asking, how did you come to Krishna consciousness? Well, my first contact with the Krishna consciousness movement was Bhagavatam. I was reading Krishna book, that was the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. And then, when I started to practice Krishna consciousness, because I was in family life, every day I was reading 10 pages of the Bhagavatam, 10 verses with purpose every day. I tried to chant them as I heard it from my Vishnu Swami with devotion. And every day 10 pages And that changed my life. That I've then studied 10 years the Bhagavatam in Vrindavan, from the first till the 12th canto. My teachers were Bhujam Prabhu, Mother Narayani. I just met Bhujam Prabhu in Ujjain also. That, but I remember in 2001 I started this study in Vrindavan, and we were with, we started the study of the Bhagavatam with 50 devotees. That 11 years later we finished the Bhagavatam, the study, and there were only 5 devotees left who did the whole thing. That, and these 5 devotees, they are all traveling preachers. Their mission in life came to spread the glories of the Bhagavatam. All 5 of us. And I will go back in January next year to Vrindavan to teach the Bhagavatam at Vrindavan Institute for Higher Education. But I'm also helping with the teaching of the Bhakti Prabhava Maharaja. So it's just my humble request. Take up the reading of the Bhagavatam. Start from the first canto, the first verse, introduction. And systematically go through it. And here also lectures. Can go to ISKCON Desire Tree, Srimad Bhagavatam lectures. You hear lectures from great devotees. And they share their realizations of these verses. By hearing these realizations, you also start to realize. You start to understand the fertility of material life and the importance of spiritual practice. Then, but you go systematically. Why? Because the Bhagavatam is as such written that during the first cantos, the creation is described. It describes how Krishna creates and how he is present in his creation. So then your vision changes gradually. How Krishna is behind everything. How Krishna is behind the beauty of a beautiful flower. That how Krishna is present in every atom.